It was a way to earn funds for my next term at university. He was a kind employer, but a strange one. An unseen one. He might have been paying me just to watch. But I didn't care. I needed the money. When midsummer was its hottest, he supplied me with lemonade. But one question burned hot inside of me. One that could not be quenched by a cool, anonymous drink. Who was this odd man? It was another fortnight before I received my answer. It was a day I can never forget. He was a consistent employer, always left my pay packet outside of the closed porch door. But this week things were different. My pay packet was missing, and the porch door was open. It was his way of inviting me in. If I knew what was inside, then I would have turned and run, pay packet or not. But I was curious, foolish. I was trespassing. Any first-year law student would be able to tell you that. But somehow this felt right. Like I belonged. Or maybe I just didn't care. Either way, I had made my choice. Even if it was the wrong one.
Sir, I'm sorry.
You are as intelligent as I expected.
Pardon?
Come no closer. I have a story to tell first. He told the story of his origin, one full of distant, exotic lands I could never hope to visit. He told me everything, and I listened. I could not have moved had I wanted to, but I didn't want to. His knowledge washed over me like waves from a fresh sea, and I wanted to drink the entire ocean. Then suddenly, I was full. My overburdened brain felt so heavy that it took every ounce of my energy just to hold it up. Come here, boy. It's time. The next morning, I awoke in a more luxurious bed than I could ever imagine. It was a challenge to exit that bed that morning. My employer was not to be found. Neither were my clothes. Had my employer removed them? What revolting act might he have forced me to perform while I was in such a vulnerable state? I thanked the stars that I could not remember. Then I caught sight of him. Only it wasn't him. It was me.
Sir!
Somehow, in some way,
Sir!
I had become him. And he was hideous.
Sir!
I was hideous.
Sir!
His revolting act, it had nothing to do with sex. No, his kink was far more intimate and violating. How could he do this to me? I stayed in this house. Where else could I go in my condition? No one asked me to leave. Everyone assumed I belonged here. Maybe I did. Everything I could possibly need was left in obvious places. There was enough money so that I could live comfortably for many years without ever having to leave the house. Yes, my benefactor provided for all of my needs. Except companionship. He hadn't done anything to provide me that. The flames of the fire were my only friends, and we spent endless nights discussing cures for my affliction. Then one night, we found the answer. I understood what I needed to do, what I was meant to do. I hired a university student, one who was young and foolish, thought himself intelligent. Then one midsummer day, I withheld your pay packet and left the porch door open.
Come here, boy. It's time.